Happy evening, my dear viewers, and today we're gonna review excellent game that's called Death Stranding 2. In my review of the original Death Stranding, a slightly younger and naive one, I wrote that this was the Kojima most personal game. I said my words, but this Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Kojima took the concept of personal work so far and it became awkward. However, the problems of Death Stranding 2 are much larger. The game turned out to be clumsy, cringe-worthy, and narrative. It clearly shows that Kojima simply needs an editor who will filter his creative influence. Kojima spent the crazy budget of Death Stranding 2 mainly of himself. As in the first part, he gaffered all the artists he is a fan of, mostly Western ones because Kojima worshipped the West. He digitized everyone and distribute roles. There is usually no practical need for this. Therefore, it is not uncommon for a character to have a face from one person famous and a voice from another not very famous, who know how to act, and this is logical in its own way. It is stupid to demand acting from a director of Mad Max, George Miller, but then why drag him into the game at all? And even for one of the landing roles, because Kojima is fun, he can afford it and he enjoy it. In Death Stranding 2, Kojima collected all his favorite music, all his favorite actors, directors and musicians, whom he could only reach, took picture with everyone and hugged them, be happy for him. Mixed all the topics and interests that excite him, and he made it all cultural. He even stuck his favorite VTuber, and he threw in so many references to Metal Gear and such meta wooden ones that it almost turned out to be multiverse. The scale of this selfish benefit performance has grown many times over compared to the first part. There is not the slightest chance to naturally tie all this together into some kind of coherent work. And Kojima didn't really try. He doesn't work for the players but for himself and the flock. Kojima is visionary. He sees the cool image in his head. A cool spectacular stand that would be cool to include in the trailer, and then Fagel, a familiar heroine from the first part, appears in the frame. She has a collar on her neck in the form of two hands covering her collarbones. What are they for? Of course, they effectively light a cigarette in a couple of stands, and in another to cringe but shockingly show the villain the middle finger. That's why they exist. The explanation of how they work and what their particular purpose is this is so with a white thread only letter. If it is so, and not all, you might also ask why there is a weapon in the form of an electric guitar and a resin cat with wings. And so, in Death Stranding 2, with literally every element of this game, at the same time Kojima doesn't want to and cannot leave what is happening in the shadow of mysticism. He already explained everything in the first part. He has to maintain the level of narrative detail, but he stumbles at every step, confusing himself more and more. Well, here we have the character Dollman. He is literally a living puppet doll. What is possible here? Of course, we will explain now. He died in a special way, and his soul moved into the doll. Wow! Why is it moving in stop motion? Why did the doll appearance change at the moment of merging? Go to hell, don't strangle me. The original Death Stranding at first seemed like surreal nonsense, and what was its charm? It was interesting to unravel this world for the first time, but as the game progressed it was chewed up for us with maniacal thoughtness, and with a reservation it turned out relatively harmonious. In the second part, Kojima destroyed his own lore and logic for the sake of spectacular stunts, but does not want to admit it. But we have solo guitar battles, musical giant babies, trending snake, instead of Mary Michaels A frame-by-frame reaction of the Metal Gear Solid 4 final. Brilliant. So much so that kind of surprise. Courier Sam, played by Norman Reedus, United America, with a chivalry network. If you don't know, then don't ask. To let baby lawyer out of the capsule and is now hiding with her in Mexico. But then Fragile appears and offers to unite Mexico while she looks after Lou. In a series of strange events, Lou's sibling dies, a portal to Australia opens, the villain from the first part. Hicks returns and Sam joins Fragile's team and thus to unite Australia. The plot, like in the original, develops strictly at the beginning and then in between, he offers dozens of hours of empty tedium. Unreadable, mournful music with Philastos Man character to play no significant role, the important unit. And here he asks the question, is it really necessary to unite? And he answers, yes, of course. It is necessary. And war is bad. Women suffer first there, and climate change is bad. And we upon, by the way, too, the philosophy of the plot is one extreme post-Dragonman level. Death Stranding 2 has amazing graphics. The detail and the draw distance are truly amazing. Everything works perfectly. The animations are crazy, and the characters are lifelike. Kojima's main benefit turned out to be his own bottom, but if you are on the same wavelength with him and enjoy catching vibes, there is no questions for you. Thank you for watching, guys, and hope to see you later, my friends. Goodbye.